Good morning. It's Vijay here. Today is Tuesday, 9th September 2025. Welcome to yet another episode of Pre-Market Commentary. Yesterday was a boring day in one sense because the market moved in a range. But regular traders will understand that, we have been having this range bound market for a very long time. If you zoom out a little bit, you will see that we had this all time high last September at around 26,400 and a 52-week low subsequently at around 21,700. So a broader range is 26,400 and 21,700. 21,700 hit in April in the panic of tariffs. Now, subsequently, you had a narrower range, which is 25,600 high, which we saw about a couple of months ago. And then we had 24,300 low, which was also some weeks ago. So we have had a 1300 range, and we have been moving in this range for quite some time. Now, typically, what happens in a range bound market is people get excited closer to the ranges. So, when a market crosses 25, bulls get excited thinking that new bull market or new bullish phase is starting. Similarly, when it comes close to 24,300, say around 24,500, then the bears start getting excited thinking that there will be a breakdown. So this is what I call the graveyard of both bulls and bears, and that is what is happening, especially when you see global markets are trotting on their own pace. Everybody is thinking, how come global markets are going up? And the answer is very simple. It is liquidity. So yesterday's data I saw there is $7 trillion now is been parked in money market funds, and sooner or later that money will come into the equity market is what I feel, because these are the people who are waiting on the sidelines. The proverbial people waiting on the sidelines are these people, and they are likely to jump in because of FOMO, if not for anything else. So we have $7.4 trillion sitting there. Now you see, what is liquidity doing? Liquidity is not bothered about the environment, the political environment, the trade environment. Japanese Prime Minister resigned. Yesterday, the Nikkei went up. Today, it went up again. It's both days making a all-time high. One would not have expected this, especially with such a big issue. And he resigned based on the tariff. He said he has given away too much, and a new guy who comes can renegotiate the tariffs, but yet the markets don't care because the amount of liquidity. Yesterday, Nasdaq hit an all-time high. Last week, S&P and Dow Jones also hit all-time highs. You're seeing poor figures as far as economics are concerned. You're having Trump's tantrums. You're having the war which is going on in Ukraine and Russia. You have so many things negative, yet the markets are going up only because of liquidity. I keep telling people, look at where the money is. If the money is flowing into risk assets, then the markets will go up independent of what you think, whether they're overbought or let's say they're extremely overbought, they're in a bubble. You can say anything. At the end of the day, money is what it makes the markets go. Specifically, I was talking of also the precious metals market. Somebody was telling me yesterday the markets have already gone up. Precious metals have already gone up some 30% plus. So better to be careful. Now the point is this: let's say I get money today. So what are my choices? So I had to argue back saying that today if I have money, so where do I invest? I'll invest significant amount in precious metals. So as of yesterday evening, we are anywhere between 35 to 50 across our various portfolios invested in precious metals. Because once you get the money, then only your meter starts ticking. You can't say I would have bought it last year or previous year or 6 months ago or 3 months ago. That won't hold water because the market doesn't care. You have the money, you need to invest, so you have to choose. We have chosen at this point of time to be on in the precious metals camp, and we are what, as I said, 35 to 50% as far as precious metals are concerned. Now, there's another thing. EU said that they'll sanction China and Russia, because they are importing Russian oil and then using it for their purposes. Now they're specifically mentioned China and not India. Sooner or later, I think they may mention India also. If, for instance, they actually sanction China, I don't think they will do it. But if they do it, I'm sure India also may be targeted. So one needs to be careful and assume that every bullish move is still a part of the sideways market. We continue to be bullish, we buy on decline because we still believe that there is a chance that sooner or later our markets will follow the global markets. I've been very bullish on global markets. I've been saying S&P will go to, I mean, not there is a possibility of it going to 7,500. Right now, there's 6,600. And I am assuming that Indian market also may go up once these Trump's problems are cleared, which may not happen now. It may take 2-3 months at least. Maybe in November end, we may get a clear sign as to what is going to happen on the tariff. So yesterday, what happened? It opened bright, but then a lot of selling came because there are a lot of people in the market who don't want to buy at higher levels. That is why at higher levels you are seeing selling. The market has to absorb this. We have to understand it and trade accordingly. And if you see what is happening is only one or two sectors are going up, and that is the rotation. Now the strong sector is autos, which has gone up about 15% in the last 3 months. So everybody will now pile onto auto, and then people may move on to some other sector. IT was that scaremongering happened because some bill was presented. Not presented, actually, they have just written the bill. So I mentioned this yesterday. So IT was under pressure. US talking of putting some tariff or putting some taxes on any IT services, which the US companies are using it. But that may not come to fruition. But still, there was some scare. Consumer names saw profit booking yesterday. Sensex was only about 75 points and all. So CFIs continue to sell. They sold about 2,100 crores. DIS bought more than them as usual, 3,000 crores. So 800 crores is the net positive numbers. So yesterday, Dow Jones also went up. Dow Jones was trading in the negative for a long time. Nasdaq closed. Nasdaq, as I said, closed at an all-time high. S&P also was positive. European markets are good. So Indian markets also were in line. As far as oil is concerned, I think oil is going to get flooded because Saudi Arabia is planning to re-enter the market with bigger numbers. So oil will be range bound, in my opinion. Yesterday was 66, slight uptick from below 66. So I don't think it'll cross 75. I don't think it'll cross below 65. But sooner or later, I expect oil to come to 55 because of the demand drop as well as supply being increased. Gold hit an all-time high, and gold is extremely overbought. So in the short term, maybe for a trader, it may not be worthwhile to look at it, in my opinion. But as an investor, I will look at every decline to buy gold because I'm very confident that I'm with the big guys like the central bankers, and they won't want to sell immediately. On the other hand, they may continue to buy. Silver is still struggling. It has not made an all-time high, but silver being silver, that is the normal way it goes around doing it. So yesterday after market, we saw Infosys calling for a board meeting where they're looking for a buyback. So that may perk up the IT sector, specifically Infosys. TVS Motor said after a market yesterday that they'll pass on the full benefit of GST. They have to. Government will otherwise come behind them. So there is no way anything can happen as far as TVS is concerned. I think in the short term, maybe the auto sector may peak out. Tech Mahindra also, some news-based information is there. So there may be some, some uptick there. And interestingly, HUL, we were buying HUL. We recently sold because we got a nice pop of about 6-7%. As a trading bet, we had taken HUL. And now the global HUL management is thinking of focusing more on India and not the other markets. So that will perk up, I suspect, HUL. So it could be a trading bet again, though it is very expensive. We have a new MD there. So things may improve in as far as HUL is concerned. Then Jefferies India strategy, I was just looking at. So what do they say? They have this India forum every September. So last year there was a lot of excitement. Everybody was piling on, thinking Nifty will cross 30,000, go to 35,000. That time Nifty was around 25 to 26,000. 26,000 in September. It made a high in September at 26,300. And this year apparently there is no interest in India. Interest in India has weakened dramatically. So if you take as a contrarian indicator, what you can say is that what is happening in in the conferences, if there is too much of bullishness, then you should be careful. If it is too much of bearishness, then you should be willing to take some risks. So that is adding a further impetus for our bullish stance, but on declines. Same thing with FIs. FIs have increased their position to 93%, I mentioned. So with that kind of positioning, it's difficult to envisage that the market will come down significantly. There could be corrections, but it may also not go up because you see the domestic guys may want to get out of it. So as far as one other script is concerned, today I think the Voltam transformers are selling over about 700 crores worth of shares, the management. So that block deal may show some volatility in Voltam transformers, which is a popular stock. Finally, everybody talk of source-based information. I've got a very interesting source-based information. One never knows. It is believed that Ambani and his wife will go and meet Trump and his wife on September 12th as a courtesy call. Remember, Ambani is being targeted by US directly or indirectly. So I think he's going to, if he's going there, if he's going to meet Trump, then he will be there obviously to save his skin. That could be exploited by the market, saying that something good is coming out of Ambani's visit to the White House. So we have to see that. Only on September 12th we will know that. So anyway, that is a piece of unverified news, but it is floating around in the media. So we continue to be bullish, as I said. We know it's a range-bound market. We are not overtly bullish. We are focusing on, as far as investment is concerned, on precious metals and on our usual stocks as far as day trading is concerned. So whatever you do, I hope it is successful. Thank you for joining me.